Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean Cecil, and today we're going to talk about retirement. So most people take it as a given that the whole point of working is you work for 40 or 45 years, and then you save up enough money, and then you reach the finish line and you retire, and then you live out the rest of your old age years not working, and that's your rest period after a sucky 40 or 45 years of working. That's the way that most people view it. Some people take this to an extreme. I know somebody, for example, who says, hey, listen, me and my wife are both, we're both earning a good amount of income. So we're going to live as if, we are really poor, even though we're both making six figures, and we're going to save up all that money so we can retire early, because the goal is to get to the finish line as soon as possible. Like it's this kind of like race to retirement kind of thing. Now, what most people don't realize is that viewpoint has a lot of effects that they don't see. One of them is about passion. So I actually have, I got to see this in action. My father retired very, very, very early. He was fortunate enough to be involved in the ground floor of a, big Silicon Valley company, got a bunch of shares, and, he was done. So he retired at 48. And what I saw was that he didn't just like relax, because he couldn't, right? He began to get restless. And he would do things like he took up landscaping, for example, and he was out there working hours and hours and hours in the heat to like do some landscaping because he was bored, right? And there were people getting paid $3 an hour or $5 an hour or whatever to do landscaping, and he was like working alongside him just because he needed something to do. And so if you're going to be doing something anyway, then why not start from the beginning doing something that's fun, Like if you're going to be finding something to do anyway, you're going to have some task anyway, because human beings are not meant to just sit down and do nothing. And they've actually done studies on this. They found that if you do nothing, right, if you do sit down and do nothing, you retire and you say, okay, I'm just going to sit, I'm done now. They've done studies. They found that people who do that actually die earlier. The earlier you retire, if you remain inactive, the earlier you die. And the reason is because we're not built to do that. Human beings aren't built to just lay down and give up, right? We're built to have a goal. We're built to chase goals. We are goal-seeking missiles. We are wired for it. There's a chemical called dopamine in our brain that we get when we achieve a goal, right? And so if you're not getting that, then you're not going to be happy, right? There's this fundamental source of discontent. So the question is, what are you going to be doing to get that dopamine release, to get to be chasing that goal? Now, another thing to think about when people think about retirement is your finances. If you are doing something where you can keep working past 65 and you can keep working until you're 75 or 80, or like Warren Buffett, I think he's nearly 90, then that dramatically changes your financial projections, because then you don't have 25 years of no income that you have to provide for, right? By all means, you can have a savings. By all means, you can have a nice, healthy cushion, but you don't have to worry about drawing down your income and hoping you don't run out of money at the end of your life, because you're going to be working until, and when I say working, ideally you want to be doing something you enjoy, right? But if you have that, then it dramatically shifts how you live your life. It dramatically shifts your budgeting. It dramatically shifts your positioning of, what you're going to do in terms of when investing in yourself, in terms of, taking on debt, in terms, because you can pay it off, all these kinds of things, right? And it means that you're never, ever going to have to worry about, counting your social security checks and hoping that, hey, listen, I don't run out of money because the market went down or whatever. And then that brings us to the last point, which is about the trade-offs, right? People who believe that there's this finish line of retirement and they just have to save up and hit this finish line of retirement will agree to do shitty things and work hard in some bullshit job that they don't enjoy for 40 years in exchange for that retirement, in exchange for that, 20 years on the back end, which, honestly, because you're going to be older, are not going to be as fun as the 20 years on the front end. Now, somebody who says, hey, listen, I don't need to retire because I found something that I love, then they don't have to worry. They're not going to make that trade-off. They're not going to say, hey, listen, I'm going to trade the 40 for the 20. They say, hey, I'm going to live 60 years of full life. I'm going to enjoy every ounce of it. And I'm going to, get the juice out of life and get the zest out of life, because that's why I'm here, right? And so that's the fundamental belief that keeps people trapped, is that you have to suffer for 40 years in order to, have some rest for the last 20, but you don't have to suffer at all, right? You can, from wherever you are, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, hell, maybe you're even 60. I don't care, right? You can find something that you love, and then you can do that, and you can earn good money doing that. You're going to be doing something like that anyway, because you're going to want that dopamine release. You're going to be doing something like that anyway, because you're not going to want to get bored. So why not say, hey, listen, whatever I'm going to be doing in retirement, because I don't want to be bored, why not start doing it now and getting paid for it? And then it can replace your income, and then you can retire now because you're going to do something that you love. And yes, you're still earning money, but that doesn't make it a problem, right? There's no need for anybody to spend any amount of years working in something that they don't enjoy. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like, I do what I love right now. I'm never going to stop doing this, right? I'm going to be doing this until the day I die, or damn near close to it. So I don't think, oh man, I'm just going to go and I'm going to build these businesses, and then by the time I'm 65, I can retire. That thought doesn't even cross my mind. Like, that would be torture to me to say, hey, listen, you can't do what you love anymore. Like, you have to stop, right? Like, I couldn't. So why not start doing that now? And then I save myself 40 years of pain working in some job that I don't want to do. And you can have the same thing. That's the power, is that you can have the same thing. A lot of people, they think that they can't have it. They think that it doesn't exist. They think that only a couple people can have it, or that it's constrained to these lucky few. And that's BS. It's just not the case. Now, does it mean that there's going to be some work involved? Yeah, absolutely. Does it mean you're going to have to get clear on what it is that like really drives you and makes you happy? Totally. That's the way it works. And that's something that I'm here to help with. Here, let me type in this link quickly. I should have typed this in earlier, but there, you can go here to this link, www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. And there's a presentation where I talk about this. I talk about the process to get to that point. I talk about what's entailed in having a career that you love and not needing to retire, not having to worry about it, right? Like, imagine if you just didn't have to worry about retirement. Imagine if you're like, oh, well, I'm going to do something that's fun today. Instead of waiting 40 years or 30 years, why not start today, right? If you had that ability, how much power would that be? How much freedom would that be to get started on living the life that you want to live today, instead of living the life that you want to live when you're 65? Like, why wait, So, if you don't want to spend 20 or 30 or 40 years of misery, and you want to go do your retirement now by doing something that you love and getting paid for it, and then never having to worry about the financial burden again, go to www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. Check out the presentation. It's got a link at the end if you want to book a call and chat with me, and it's totally free. And then we can sort through, and I can give you a little bit of guidance as to what the next best steps are. And I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. Minor housekeeping announcement. I am going to be away for a while, so I'm not going to be doing these videos for the next about week and a half, because I'm going to be traveling for some stuff. So I will see you guys when I get back. Can't wait to talk to you then. I'll try to get some posts up in the meantime in the Science of Career Freedom group, and I look forward to seeing you all when I get back. Have a wonderful afternoon. Cheers.